What's up YouTube? It's Anthony from ComSci Studio and welcome back to your 10th programming tutorial in Java. So over the past 9 tutorials we've learned a few basics of Java programming. We've learned how to print stuff out on the screen, some basic data types, and how to use if statements in our program. So today we're just going to be making a basic calculator. This calculator is going to ask for 2 numbers and then it's going to ask what you want to do with those 2 numbers. So the options are multiply, divide, subtract, and add. So based on what the user inputs, we're going to make a decision on how to calculate it. So yeah, let's jump right in. First thing you're going to want to do is make a scanner, and I'll name it SC and set it equal to new scanner system.in. So if you have no idea what this is, go back to my 5th tutorial. I teach you exactly how to use this and what it all means. So to import it, just hold Alt, hit enter, and then add import for java.util.scanner. So after we're done that, we're going to make two number variables. So let's go int num1. You could also declare multiple variables on one line, so you could separate them with commas, and we'll make it num2. So as you can see, I declared an integer variable num1 and num2 all on the same line. You just need to separate it by commas. So you could do as many as you want, but I'm only going to use 2 in this tutorial. So the next thing we're going to want to do is just make a basic prompt to the user to enter the first number. So go sout, please enter the first number. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the user input for the first number. So we're going to go num1 is equal to sc.next int. Also I'm going to teach you guys how to comment your code. Commenting is very important in programming, especially if you're making a very big program. Right now it's not so important, but it's good to get into the practice of it, so when you're making a big program and you go back to your program to see if you have to fix a bug or something, you know what all your code does, because you most likely will not remember what it all does. So let's just make a single line comment. To make a single line comment, if I haven't taught you this already, just use the 2 forward slashes, and then we're just going to say this is a scanner object. If you guys don't know what an object is, that's okay. I'm going to teach you guys about objects and classes in a later tutorial, so don't worry about that. And then let's label this get first input, and then I'm just going to copy this because I'm lazy, and we're going to get our second input. So please, I spelled please wrong, so we're going to please enter the second number, and we have to change this to num2 is equal to sc.next, and we can make a comment above this, get second number, or input, doesn't matter. And so yeah, this will not be run, the compiler will not run this, so this is just a comment to yourself. It's not going to affect your program in any way, so just putting that out there. So the next thing we want to do, let's run it actually, and I'll show you guys what it does so far. So please enter the first number, let's say 45. Please enter the second number, let's say 78. And then it says build successful. So that's all it does right now. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to ask the user what they want to do with those 2 numbers. So let's make a string, and we'll call it user input. And then we're going to want to make a prompt to the user. We're going to say basically, what do you want to do with these numbers? So let's go sout, what do you want to do with these values? And then we're going to put in brackets m comma d comma a comma s. This is just basically telling them what values that they can input into here to correspond to multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go user input is equal to sc.next. Now we're using next because we want to input a string. We're not using next int anymore because it's not an integer value. So for integers you'd go next int, for floats next float, for doubles next double, etc. So this time we're going to use next. So yeah, basically what this is going to do now is it's going to ask the user what they want to do with those numbers. Now here comes the core of the program. We're going to make the if statement to decide what calculation to use corresponding to what they inputted into the program. So let's write an if statement. If statement user input. So if user input dot equals m, we're going to execute this piece of code. So here we're just going to make a print statement to print out the answer to what they to the numbers they inputted. So this is going to be num1 times num2. Alright, and then we're going to make an else if statement. Else if user input dot equals d for division. We're going to go s out num, oops, sorry, not in quotations, num1 divided by num2. And then I'm just going to copy this else if statement so I don't have to redo it. And then we're going to put a in here, and we're just going to put a plus sign to add, and then s in here for subtract. And yeah, if we run this now, depending on what they inputted here, it's going to print out the corresponding value, or the corresponding answer. So let's run it. So let's put in 10 and 3. So what do you want to do with these values? I want to multiply these. So if I put in m and I hit enter, we get 30 because it's going to go 10 times 3 is 30. And if we go let's go 12 and 12, and we go divide, that equals 1, and so on. So if you put in a, it's going to add them. If you put in s, it's going to subtract them. So that is pretty much your first functional program that's actually worthwhile. I'm going to be doing tutorials like this after we've learned a bunch of material, and yeah, so every 10 tutorials or so I'm going to do something like this where we're going to make an actual program that applies the knowledge that we've learned. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next tutorial, and so comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.